Question 22. I certainly can't do this in my head easily, so U substitution is a great path to take. Any guesses on what you think U should be? One more time.
1 plus x to the 4.
Okay, that's probably a good guess. That's stuck under a square root, so that's usually what we need. Are you finished with these?
I already did this one.
Okay. So we've got this taken care of, and then what else do we need here?
Du.
Right. And du is 4x cubed dx. Don't forget the dx. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but that's the only way that you're going to be sure that you've got this correctly. So for this stuff, we could rewrite this as the square root of u. And so the other thing that we need to make a replacement for is x cubed dx. Now I know it's tempting to just throw a du on there, because half the time that's what you get to do. But if you just do that every time, you're going to miss half of them. Du is not an x cubed dx, it's 4x cubed dx. So in this instance, I would recommend that you write down what you know, or what you have over here. I have an x cubed dx. That forces you to look at this side of the equation and say, this side's been divided by 4, so algebraically I should divide this side by 4. So the only way you can replace x cubed dx is with 1/4 du. That 1/4 is taken into account the chain rule, so that you don't have to do it in your head. Now, if you don't do this the way I ask you to, I'm going to be very limited as far as how helpful I can be. You've got to write down your u, you've got to take the derivative both sides, every single question, and then if you don't have what you need to replace it with, you need to go one more step. Write what you do have, force yourself to see that you're dividing by 4, so divide this side by 4. Because here in a little bit, once you guys start practicing some on your own, you're going to have questions like, where did the 1/4 come from? And so that's not something you want to keep up with. Just make this process like your every question thing, and then you won't have that issue of why is there a 4th out front. Okay, and then from here, we could rewrite this with exponent rules, but now it should look like the basic integration that we've been doing for a while. We can raise the power by 1, divide by the new power. This is an indefinite integral, so we have to have a plus c. Looks like 2 could reduce 4 like so. And so we're left with the square root of u over 2 plus c. Now, as long as these questions are, and as much practice as they take, the one benefit to them that I'm going to ask that you do at least a couple times a day. I know a lot of these questions in the textbook are odd questions, and you can check your answer in the back of the book. But you also need to practice occasionally checking it manually. If this was a question on your next quiz, I would hope that you would move on once you got the answer, and then when you were done and you realize how much more time you have left, this is supposed to be the antiderivative of this. So you should want to take this derivative. Bring the power down, lower the power by 1, multiply by the derivative of the inside because of chain rule, and then you're going to see that your times 4 divided by 4 cancels. You're going to see that you have an x cubed that was supposed to be there. You're going to see that you can move this to the bottom, the denominator, and make it 1 over the square root of 1 plus x to the 4th, which is what we want. And so it looks like this derivative gives us that stuff. So then we have no doubt about our answer being correct. And of course, even as multiple choice, sometimes it might make more sense to just pick choice A, take its derivative, and see if it works. And then if it doesn't, try choice B, like do process of elimination. So that's another thing to consider on post question.